Hello and welcome to another video, and today we are going to talk about Orioles Park at Camden Yards.
King has the 97 home run for the ages. Oh my goodness! Yes! It's the day! Wow, that was awesome.
Lloyd Street's grounds was from 1994 to 1901. Milwaukee Brewers of the Western League opened in 1995. And then the other leaving is the Athletic Park. And then it became Sportsman Park in 1902 to 1953. And they are the home stadium to the St. Louis Browns and the Cardinals. The Orioles rebrand ballpark Busch Stadium. Basically, Busch Stadium is the Cardinals Stadium. And Baltimore Memorial Stadium went around in 1954 to 1991. And then now is Orioles Park at Camden Yards in 1992 to present time. Similar retro re-signs of Fenway Park and Dodger Stadium. First game against the New York Mets, Rick Sutcliffe pitched a complete game shutout in a season 2-0 victory over the Indians before a sellout crowd of 44,568. Chris Holmes drove the first run in a Camden Park with a ground rule double that scored Sam Horn in the fifth inning. They also hosted the 1993 All-Star game. 1995, Cal Ripken Jr. Got the record of 2,131 consecutive games. And he's like the only person has like the most of that. Exactly 1 year later, Eddie Murray blasted his 500th home run, and Ken Griffey Jr. hit a home run on the Borough Warehouse on Camden Yard in a home run competition in 1993 in the home run derby. Utah Street, as the 2024 of 130 home runs have landed on Utah Street. That's the big giant building. And the first was Mickey Teltlin on against the Tigers in 1992. The longest in the game home run on Utah Street as Gunnar Henderson, 462 foot, shot on June 11th in 2023. And if you want to think about Ken Griffey Jr. home run in the home run derby in 1993, it was basically 465 feet. 465 foot. Rafael Plamo hit a 2 home run on the Utah Street in 2012. Chris Hellas eliminated a grand slam, walked off down by 3 runs in 1986. Hedo Murrow pitched a no-hitter, also happened in 2001. Tim Raines Sr. and Tim Raines Jr. played together in 1990 as like Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. on the Mariners. And there is actually a statue of Babe Ruth. Yeah, there's a statue of Babe Ruth because he's actually from Baltimore, and I think he played the Baltimore minor team as well. So that's something very interesting. Okay. Retired number. We got Earl Weaver, Brooks Robinson, Kyle Ripken Jr., Frank Robinson, Jim Palmer, Eddie Murray, and unfortunately Jackie Robinson because all of the stadiums have him and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much of Orioles Park, Camden Yards, if you want to say that and stuff. Yeah, a lot of history in this stadium, especially enough for Cal Ripken Jr. and stuff. A lot of great players. The only time, the Orioles won a World Series was basically in 1966, 1970, and 1983, and basically all of them had Jim Palmer in it and stuff. And I think he like started and ended in like those 2 years he like won a World Series with the Orioles and stuff, and also became teammates with Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken Jr. because I think Cal Ripken Jr. was like a rookie in like 1983 or something like that. Yeah, St. Louis Browns, very interesting name. Is interesting enough of the Browns did lose the World Series in 1944 against the St. Louis Browns. I mean, not St. Louis Browns, St. Louis Cardinals. I meant to say. So it was probably the most biggest rival at the time, like especially like New York versus New York and stuff, like the Yankees and the Giants and all that stuff, and even like Chicago with like White Sox and Cubs. But yeah, that's very kind of interesting. It's also very interesting of enough of like St. Louis Browns became the Baltimore Orioles and stuff. Just never knew of like my mind of it. It is kind of interesting of enough like you hear like names like never like cross your mind like, oh, I never heard of this and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to realize enough of like old names back then and stuff, especially like the Browns and stuff, because if you think about it, like you think about like the Cleveland Browns, like NFL and stuff. So it's not like kind of the same in a way, but it's kind of interesting and stuff. And that's like back then, like again, like that was in the 40s and stuff. Like I thinking like the Browns was around like in the 20s and 30s and 40s and stuff, maybe the 50s, who knows. Yeah, I absolutely mentioned enough of Ken Griffey Jr. with his home run derby. That was probably like the most crazy thing ever and stuff. I probably did mention that from like the Baltimore Orioles video about like their history and all that stuff. Because it's a big thing, especially enough of Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. Never played for the Orioles, but probably had like the most biggest like home run ever in that stadium, and especially hitting that like building, that Utah Street or whatever they were calling it and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I never been to the stadium. I really want to go to their stadium very well and stuff. I really like the Orioles. I like their history and all that stuff. And they also have good players and stuff, like my boy, Blaze Alexander. I just saw he was on the Orioles and stuff. So just like, whatever, great for him. But I do want to apologize enough of it's been taking a few while enough of I haven't post any yet and stuff. I just posted a video on my main channel just yesterday and stuff. So I'm trying to get back into this routine enough of doing this channel as well. And there's more things to this channel as well. More things, more in the future, more closer to March time, because of baseball season is coming around the corner of March and stuff. So just wearing to you guys, be excited for this channel as well, because I have a lot of ideas and plans and a lot of projects I want to do for this channel, especially in the main channel as well, but mostly this one, mostly and stuff. So get hyped for those and generally and stuff. So the next stadium we are going to talk about is Progressive Field, and that is the Cleveland Guardians. So Indians / Guardians, it's up there with those. So that is the next one. and stuff. So get hype. But anyways, I'm just glad to be back. I'm trying to do these videos and stuff the most I can because there's so many projects I want to show you guys and stuff. Same thing with the other main channel as well. Go back and forth with these main channel, like these channels and stuff. I took a long break. I understand. It's hard to contain of a YouTube channel and stuff, especially two YouTube channels and stuff. But I'm trying to get back into the grind and basically show you guys more videos and stuff, and I will do so with those. So thumbs up for that. Seriously, thumbs up for a like. So that's all I have to say and stuff. And soon later, maybe in the future, I might go to this park because I really want to and stuff. So it would be really, really cool and stuff. So yeah. So good to be back. Hopefully you guys watching these videos. Hopefully you like this video. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more content like this. And have a nice day. And thank you for watching.